Hey guys, and welcome back. You guys know the drill. You see the background. You already know what we're about to get into. So I just watched Beetlejuice last night, and I did not like it. I did not like it at all. There was honestly so much going on that was very hard to just pinpoint what the actual issue was and what the plot of this film even really is, to be completely honest with you. For starters, we're pretty much opened up with them at Charles' funeral because he ended up passing. It was kind of an odd story. They said it was a plane crash, but he survived the plane crash, and then a shark ate him. Yeah, but even outside of this whole ordeal. And then we have Lydia and Astrid's strained relationship. But even outside of that whole ordeal, we have Lydia and Astrid and their strained relationship as mother and daughter. Lydia turned this power into a career where she now has a TV show and she pretty much talks to ghosts. For the most part, I guess she gives people like closure and stuff like that. And then we have Astrid, who is, of course, embarrassed by it. And not only that, because her father did pass, she's upset with her mom because she's like, why is it you can see every ghost except for dad? You've never seen him, or is it you don't want to see him? So the relationship with them, I'm like, okay, that could be a storyline. But then it was kind of being dragged out a little bit. Because we also have Astrid and her now fiance, who is kind of weird. I believe he's her manager. And he's the reason all of this pretty much kicks off in a sense. Because she starts seeing Beetlejuice everywhere. And he's like, you went to therapy. This is a trauma response. And you need to face it. So she's pretty much telling him, like, you cannot say his name 3 times. And she's telling him who he is. And what does he do? Says his name 3 times. He appears. And yeah. And then from that, we bounce around to Astrid and this boy, Jeremy, who she meets. And pretty much this guy is a ghost. Yeah, he's a ghost. Not just any ghost. He's an evil ghost. But she doesn't know that because she does not know that she can see ghosts. And even this was rushed because it turns out that he offed his parents. And so I'm like, okay, so this is pretty much what this is going to be about. Because he pretty much, the handbook that they give to them when they move on, he had it, and it has a spell to where he can come back to life. But the twist was he has to exchange. The twist was he has to take the place of another. And he pretty much tricked her into saying the incantation and tricked her into checking into the afterlife and him checking out. Now, this is where it kind of just got sped up. We end up seeing her dad in the afterlife, and he pretty much says, like, you cannot see me, but I've always been able to see you, and I'll be watching over you and your mom. And this is pretty much where Beetlejuice comes into play because her mom ends up finding out because she tells someone, oh, yeah, my daughter went to this house to go hang out with some boys she met for Halloween. And they're like, nobody lives in that house. And she tells them his name is Jeremy, and they're like, it can't be the same one because he passed away like 20 years ago or 22 years ago, something like that. And was like, yeah, he offed his parents. So when he ran, climbed up this exact tree house and then fell out. And it was quick because even though she called upon Beetlejuice to help her, she had to pretty much agree to marry him because he's still obsessed with her in order to help out her daughter. And which she did. And it was so quick when it was the official signage for them to swap. Beetlejuice was pretty much in the place and pretty much sent him down below. And then we have her, who is, I guess, the start of this, because this is Beetlejuice's ex-wife. Till did they part, and they sure did. She's like a soul sucker, something like that, and and I guess in order for her to be immortal, she had to, I guess, off her husband. So when they got married, she gave him poison, and before he croaked, he chopped her up into pieces, hence why she's sliced up like that. And now she's back for revenge against Beetlejuice, and this is where her fiance comes into play because fast forward after that, she finally meets up with them when they're at the altar to get married, and Beetlejuice appears, of course. Oh, and she's gone too. She tried to do a video in remembrance of her husband and ended up buying some snake that they told her was defanged and non-poisonous. Turns out it was poisonous and it bit her, and yeah, she's gone. And she's also in the afterlife. But back to these two. Yeah, so they're at the altar, prepping to get married. Beetlejuice appears and he's like, no, like, that's pretty much my wife. And then this chick appears and she's like, I've been looking for you. I've been waiting for you. We have unfinished business. And the snake that we saw in the first Beetlejuice, that's in the sand snake or whatever it is. Yeah, it eats him and her. And I guess, I don't know, live happily ever after. And then in terms of her marrying Beetlejuice, Astrid ends up looking through the booklet that they get when they go to the other side, and she's like, you violated the contract because you were supposed to bring her there legally and you brought her there illegally, so therefore the contract's void. And then they end up not getting married, and they say his name 3 times, and yeah, you know the whole gist. So yeah, there was a lot going on in this film, and I really just hated it because we could have just went without it. We did not need a part 2. This film honestly just felt more like a money grab, in my opinion, because it wasn't needed. The acting was great, but the storyline was horrible. And I hate that for them, and I hate that for Tim Burton. But you win some, you lose some. This one was a loss, and I can see why there wasn't much hype or talk about it, because it really just wasn't good. So, I mean, if you guys want to watch it, it is streaming now on HBO Max, so you can head over there and stream it at home and watch it this weekend, I guess. And you let me know what you think about it, because for me, this movie is honestly like I give it like a 4 out of 10. But that concludes tonight's video. And as always, if you want to follow me on any of my socials or my YouTube channel, the link is in the bio. And drop a comment, drop a like, share this video, interact. And I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, we out. Bye.